The sky was grey that evening, the kind of grey that made the air feel heavy and sad. Tiny drops of rain began to fall on the rusty rooftops of the small village, tapping softly like fingers of warning. But for little Anna, it wasn't just another rainy evening, it was another long, painful day of trying to survive. Anna was only 12. Her parents had both died when she was very small. Her mother, people said, was a kind woman who loved to sing while cooking, and her father was a hardworking man who used to call Anna his little sunshine. But all those warm memories disappeared like smoke the day her father died. After his burial, Anna was left in the care of Mrs. Grace, her father's second wife, a woman whose heart seemed colder than stone. Mrs. Grace had no love for Anna. She treated her like a servant, forcing her to wake up before sunrise to sweep, wash clothes, and then go to the market to sell bananas under the hot sun. Every morning, Anna would tie her old, faded scarf, balance a heavy tray of ripe bananas on her head, and walk barefoot to the roadside. Her feet were always dusty, and her small hands had become raw from carrying loads meant for grown women. That day, as the dark clouds gathered above, Anna had not sold much. The road was quiet, and most people were rushing home before the rain began. She stared sadly at her tray, still half full of bananas. She knew what it meant if she went home without selling everything. Mrs. Grace would shout, beat her without mercy, and sometimes make her sleep without food. Anna had felt the sting of her stepmother's bell too many times. She couldn't go back like that. So even when the first thunder rumbled across the sky, Anna stayed. She stood at the roadside, her little voice trembling as she called out, "Buy banana. Sweet, sweet banana." Soon, the rain began to pour, first slowly, then heavily, beating against her skin and soaking her thin dress. The tray of bananas became slippery in her hands. But still, she didn't stop. Her lips quivered as she kept shouting, "Buy banana. Sweet banana." Her small body shivered from the cold, but fear of her stepmother's anger burned stronger than the rain. The sky grew darker. Cars drove past, splashing muddy water on her legs. Still, Anna walked, her tray shaking on her head, her bare feet stepping carefully on the wet road. She whispered a small prayer under her breath, "God, please help me sell these bananas." And then it happened. A bright flash of headlights blinded her for a moment. A car came speeding through the rain, its tires screeching as it swerved to avoid her. Anna screamed and stumbled backward. The tray fell from her head, and the bananas scattered all over the wet ground. Some rolled into the gutter, some were crushed under the car's tires. The driver jumped out angrily, slamming the car door. "Hey! Are you out of your mind?" he shouted. "What are you doing here, small girl? It's dark and raining." Anna was already shaking, her wet hair plastered to her face. Tears mixed with raindrops as she knelt down, picking up the damaged bananas one by one.
Sorry.
"I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to. I can't go home until I sell them," she stammered through tears. The man's anger softened when he saw how young and helpless she was. She was trembling, her lips blue from the cold. The rain continued to pour, soaking both of them. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Anna," she whispered, still gathering the ruined bananas with shaking hands. "My stepmother will kill me," my stepmother said. "I must not come home until I finish selling everything." The man looked at her tray, it was filled with mud and broken fruit. His heart ached. He took off his jacket and wrapped it around her small shoulders. "Come, get inside the car," he said softly. But Anna hesitated. "She will beat me," she murmured. "If I go home like this, she will beat me again." The man crouched beside her, his eyes full of sadness. "No one should ever beat a child for this," he said. "You've done enough, Anna. Let's go somewhere safe." Anna looked at him, unsure whether to trust him. But something about his gentle voice reminded her of her late father. Slowly, she nodded. He helped her into the car, turned on the heater, and drove off through the rain. As the vehicle moved, Anna looked out the window, watching the raindrops race down the glass. Her heart pounded with fear and hope. She didn't know where they were going, but for the first time in a long while, she felt like someone cared. When they reached town, the man stopped at a small restaurant and bought her warm food. Anna stared at the plate of rice and chicken, her eyes wide. It had been months since she had eaten such food. "Eat," he said kindly. "You're safe now." Tears rolled down her cheeks again, but this time they were tears of gratitude. She wanted to speak but couldn't find the words. That night, as the rain continued to fall outside, Anna finally slept in a warm bed, the first peaceful sleep she had had in years. And though she didn't know it yet, that night under the rain had changed her life forever. Because the man who almost hit her, Mr. Daniel, would become the light that pulled her out of darkness. He would find out everything about her, confront the wicked stepmother, and give Anna the chance to live the life her parents had always dreamed for her. But that was just the beginning of Anna's story. The next morning, Anna woke up to the smell of fried eggs and bread. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. The bed felt soft under her body, and the blanket wrapped around her was warm and clean. Then she remembered the rain, the car, the man who helped her. When she opened her eyes fully, she saw Mr. Daniel standing by the window, speaking quietly on the phone. He turned and smiled when he noticed she was awake. "Good morning, Anna," he said kindly. "How are you feeling?" Anna rubbed her eyes. "I'm fine, sir," she whispered shyly. "Thank you for yesterday." Mr. Daniel smiled again. "You're welcome, my dear. You were trembling badly last night. You must have been very scared." Anna nodded. Her eyes dropped to her hands, which were still rough and a little swollen from carrying the heavy banana tray. She looked small and fragile, like a flower trying to grow on hard ground. "Come and eat," he said, placing a plate on the table. "You must be hungry." Anna stared at the food, eggs, bread, and a cup of hot tea. Her stomach growled loudly, and she blushed with embarrassment. She began to eat slowly, savoring every bite as if she was afraid the food might disappear. Mr. Daniel watched her quietly. He could see the pain behind her silence. Something in him stirred, a fatherly feeling he hadn't known he still had since losing his own daughter years ago. After she finished eating, he asked softly, "Anna, tell me about your home. Who do you live with?" Anna hesitated. "I live with my stepmother," she said at last. "My parents are dead." "I'm sorry to hear that," he said gently. "And where is your stepmother now?" "At home," Anna murmured. "She told me not to come back until I finish selling the bananas. If I go home with the leftover ones, she'll beat me. She always beats me." Mr. Daniel's chest tightened. "Always?" Anna nodded. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Sometimes she doesn't give me food. She says I'm useless, that I'm a burden. She makes me sell banana from morning till night." Her eyes filled with tears. "I didn't want to go back home last night, but I had nowhere else to go." Mr. Daniel's jaw clenched. He stood up, grabbed his car keys, and said quietly, "Anna, I want to take you home. Don't be afraid. I just want to talk to her." Anna's heart started pounding. "Please, sir, don't make her angry. She will punish me more." Mr. Daniel knelt beside her and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "No, Anna. You have done nothing wrong. You deserve to be treated with love and care. I promise you, I won't let anyone hurt you again." Anna hesitated, then slowly nodded. She trusted him. When they arrived at the small compound where Anna lived, the sky was clear but the ground was still muddy from last night's rain. Mrs. Grace was standing by the doorway, her face twisted in anger. "Where have you been, "You useless girl," she shouted as soon as she saw Anna. "You think you can sleep outside and come back when you like?" Anna froze, her hands trembling. Mr. Daniel stepped forward quickly. "Excuse me, madam," he said in a calm but firm voice. "She was caught in the rain last night. I almost hit her with my car. She could have died." Mrs. Grace frowned, her eyes darting from Anna to him. "Who are you? And what's your business with my stepdaughter?" "My name is Daniel," he said. "And I have every right to ask why you send this young girl out to sell in the rain at night." "She's just a child," Mrs. Grace hissed. "And so what? She must work to eat. Nobody gives me free food. She should be grateful I'm even keeping her in my house." Mr. Daniel's eyes darkened with anger. "Grateful," he repeated slowly. "You call this life, this suffering, something she should be grateful for?" Anna stood behind him, clutching the edge of his jacket, her heart pounding fast. "Listen, madam," Mr. Daniel continued. "You can't treat her this way. She's a child, not your slave. I've already spoken to the community social officer, and if I hear that you touch her again, you will face the law." Mrs. Grace's expression changed immediately. "Social officer?" she asked, her voice suddenly shaky. "Yes," Mr. Daniel said firmly. "And if you don't want trouble, you pack her things. She's coming with me." Anna's eyes widened in shock. "Me," she whispered. Mr. Daniel turned and smiled warmly. "Yes, Anna. You're coming home with me. You're safe now." Mrs. Grace tried to argue, but the look in his eyes silenced her. She mumbled something under her breath and walked back into the house. Minutes later, Anna came out holding a small nylon bag containing her few belongings, a torn dress, a comb, and an old photograph of her parents. When she got into the car, she looked out the window as the house faded in the distance. A tear rolled down her cheek, not from sadness this time, but from relief. For the first time in years, Anna felt free. That evening, as she sat in Mr. Daniel's living room, wrapped in a new blanket, she whispered a quiet prayer, "Thank you, God. Thank you for sending him." Mr. Daniel smiled at her from across the room. "Welcome home, Anna," he said. "This is where your new life begins." The next morning, sunlight spilled gently through the white curtains of the guest room. For the first time in years, Anna woke up without fear in her heart. The bed beneath her was soft, her blanket warm, and the sweet smell of breakfast filled the air. She sat up slowly, rubbing her eyes and blinking as if to make sure she wasn't dreaming. Then the door opened quietly. Mr. Daniel stood there with a warm smile. "Good morning, Anna," he said kindly. "How did you sleep?" Anna smiled shyly. "I slept well, sir." "Thank you." He nodded. "Good. Breakfast is ready. Come and eat." At the dining table, the food looked like a feast to her: bread, tea, boiled eggs, and a little fruit. Anna sat carefully, afraid of breaking anything. She picked her food slowly, still not believing that this was for her. Mr. Daniel noticed her hesitation and said gently, "You don't have to be afraid, Anna. You're safe here. Eat as much as you want." Her eyes glistened as she whispered, "Nobody has ever spoken to me like that before." Mr. Daniel's heart tightened. He sighed softly. "You're a child, Anna. You deserve love, care, and a chance to live like every other child." After breakfast, he asked her to follow him. They went to a nearby shop where he bought her new clothes, shoes, and a small school bag. Anna's mouth hung open in surprise. She had never owned new clothes before, only old ones passed down from others. When they got home, Mr. Daniel said, "From today, you'll start going to school. You learn, play, and grow. No more selling bananas under the sun or rain. Anna blinked in shock. School, she repeated softly, as if the word itself felt too good to be true. Yes, school, he said, smiling. You'll be like other children. You have books, friends, and teachers who will care for you. Tears rolled down Anna's cheeks. Thank you, sir, she said in a trembling voice. I don't know how to thank you. You already did, he said gently. Just promise me that you'll work hard and never give up. She nodded firmly. I promise. That evening, as the sun began to set, Anna stood by the window and watched the orange sky. She thought about all she had been through, the beatings, the hunger, the loneliness. And now, somehow, God had sent someone who treated her like a daughter. When Mr. Daniel's younger sister, Aunt Mary, came to visit, Anna greeted her politely. Aunt Mary smiled warmly. So this is the girl I've been hearing about, she said, hugging her. You're even prettier than my brother described. Anna giggled shyly, her heart swelling with joy. Aunt Mary brought her some storybooks and hair ribbons. That night, she helped Anna wash her hair, rubbed cream on her small arms, and told her bedtime stories. Anna felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, love. Before she slept, she whispered a prayer. Dear God, please bless Mr. Daniel and Aunt Mary. Thank you for saving me. Please don't let me ever go back to that life again. The following week, Anna started school. She wore her new uniform proudly, a white shirt, blue skirt, and black shoes that shone brightly. At first, she was shy and afraid, but the teacher, Mrs. Linda, welcomed her warmly. During class, she listened carefully, writing each word slowly with her new pencil. Even though she struggled at first, she was determined to learn. Every day, she came home excited, telling Mr. Daniel about what she learned, new songs, alphabets, and stories. Her laughter filled the house, turning it from a quiet place into a home full of life again. One evening, as Mr. Daniel sat reading his newspaper, Anna ran to him holding her first school results slip. Sir. Look, she said happily. He looked at the paper and smiled proudly. You did so well, Anna. I'm so proud of you. Anna grinned, her eyes glowing with joy. I did it because you believed in me. Mr. Daniel's heart melted. He reached out and hugged her gently. You're my daughter now, Anna. You'll never be alone again. And just like that, the little girl who once cried under the rain, selling bananas in fear, finally found the family she had always dreamed of, a home filled with love, warmth, and hope. But deep inside her heart, Anna still wondered. What will happen if her stepmother ever tries to find her again?